Welcome. I am Sharon Liberman Mintz, curator of Jewish art at the Library of the Jewish Theological Seminary, and we are standing in the Dorothy Tapper Goldman Gallery at the library, and we are looking forward to introducing to you our new exhibition, A Sacred Space, Synagogue Architecture and Identity.
I'm Sam Gruber from Syracuse, New York. I'm president of the International Survey of Jewish Monuments. I teach courses on synagogue art and architecture. I'm very pleased to co-curate this exhibition with Sharon. It's a thrill to work with the actual art objects, a selection of over 40 prints from the Jewish Theological Seminary Library. The physicality of the objects makes a big difference. And when you come to the exhibition and see them, which I hope you will, you'll see they're very different than just seeing an illustration in a book or online.
The Library of the Jewish Theological Seminary is the greatest Judaica library in the Western Hemisphere. Our rare book room is comprised of rare Hebrew manuscripts, printed books, and for the purposes of this exhibition, an astounding collection of prints. We have over 600 synagogue prints alone, from which we've selected 42 for this exhibition. One of the most challenging features of putting together this exhibition is actually choosing and winnowing down from our 600 synagogue prints, and those are just the flat prints alone, not the ones found in books as well, of which we have several hundred certainly. And the question is, how did we actually come to these 42 prints, and what informed our vision of how the show should be shaped?
We're working under certain limitations. These are great prints, and it's a great view of synagogue architecture, but only in certain places at certain times. As we know, Jews have been building synagogues for 2,000 years all over the world, and yet when you look at this exhibition, you realize that most of these prints are from the last few hundred years, and most of them come from Western Europe. We could have also done a large component from the United States, but that would have taken us into a whole new realm and a whole new history. We've just hinted at that with 4 beautiful prints of New York City. But it's important to note that prints were only made in certain places at certain times and for certain purposes. So England, Germany, France, Austria, these were centers of printing. They were commercial printing, and they were also art centers. So it's where these two things came together. There were plenty of artists who were drawing and engravers who could make prints, and there were plenty of printers who were putting out art prints in magazines, newspapers, and books. The audience for these images was varied. There were Christians, and sometimes the images are derogatory. They're anti-Jewish, and you can see some of these by images. It's not so much the buildings, but the behavior of the people in them, or the way they're represented with stereotyped features, or with kind of raucous and behavior and the lack of decorum, which clearly was meant to denigrate the act of Jewish worship. But there was also a Jewish production of these images and an appreciation, and we have books, early printed books, where scenes of synagogues are used to illustrate customs, ritual customs for Jewish observance. And these were in books in Hebrew and in Yiddish, and they were widely disseminated in many editions for many hundreds of years.
We're delighted that you could join us here for a tour and overview of our exhibition, A Sacred Space, Synagogue Architecture and Identity, will be on view through March 7th, 2024. Come and join us.
תבושי ולא תקלמי, מה תשתוכחי ומה תהמי, בוך יחסו עניי עמי, ונבנתה עיר על תהילה.